Namaste, yogis. Thank you for joining us this evening. Today's day 8 of our 8-part series, our final exam day, so hopefully you've been studying. And if you haven't been joining us for the other 7 sessions, that's okay. This is just going to be a normal yoga class. And that's what our final exam is after coming together for the previous 7 sessions and working through various poses and making sure we have the right alignment, the right cues in place, the right posture, the right breathing techniques. We'll work into putting all those pieces together and experiencing a yoga class. So we'll be working on a full body experience today and getting every part of the body opened up, opening up the breath, and hopefully opening up the mind a little bit. So for today's props, if you have props, of course you don't need them. We are going to be using 2 blocks. Books work good. Water bottles will also work good. Anything to get a little bit of support there. And then a blanket. Of course, the blanket is only if you think you need it. We may not need it today, but it's there just in case you need a little comfort blanket, or maybe during Shavasana, or at any point during any of the other poses where maybe the knees are a little stiff or you need a little bit of extra support. Remember, the blankets are there for support. So with that, let's go ahead and just get started in a child's pose and get grounded and centered for this evening's practice. So if you want to take your knees out wider than your torso, connect the big toes to touch, and then sink your sitting bones down onto the heels. Start to walk the fingertips forward, straightening out the spine and bringing the forehead down to the floor. Just settle in here for a moment. You don't have to do anything spectacular with the arms. You can even take the arms if it feels better for you and just reach back by the ankles and allow the shoulders to kind of round down towards the earth. Or if you'd like to be a little bit more active with your child's pose this evening as we start, you can remain with the arms outstretched long. You don't have to lift the elbows up, but you can just stretch the arms out. Find a little bit of stillness here. Take a moment to just arrive on your mat. Arrive for your practice. Arrive into your breath. Exhale all of the air out from your lungs. And then draw the breath deeply in through the nose, filling it into the pelvic floor, working up through the lateral side bodies, coming into the upper chest. Once you get to the top of the inhale, pause for a moment, and then open up your mouth and let it all back out. 2 more times, just like that. A deep full inhale. An open mouth, audible exhale. 1 more deep full inhale. And 1 more slow, deliberate exhale. Then, keeping the lips sealed, draw the breath in through the nose for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And keep the lips sealed on the exhale as you slowly exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale slowly 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale slowly 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maintain that rhythm to your breath, working to elongate the inhale and even out your exhale. On your next inhale, come up to an all-four tabletop position. Stack the shoulders directly over the wrists. Bring the knees underneath the hips. Spread all 10 of the toes back and down on the floor behind you. Create a neutral shape with the spine here to begin with. Spread the 10 fingers out as wide as you can. And on your next inhale, bend your elbows slightly. Drop your hip points. Lift your sitting bones. Pull the thoracic spine and sternum forward and up. Lift the crown. And then on the exhale, drop the glutes. Lift the hip points. Bring your navel up towards the spine. Arch your back and tuck your chin in towards your chest. And then again, inhale, pulling forward, cow pose. And exhale, arching back for cat. 3 more times, breath the movement. Bringing any extra movements into the body that you'd like to bring in. A little shaking of the hips. Movement in the shoulders, wrists. Maybe a little bit of movement in the neck. Whatever your body is calling for. 2 more rounds of cat-cow. As you inhale, pulling forward and up. And as you exhale, arching the back and rounding in for cat. Last one, inhale. And last one, exhale. Then find more of a neutral position. Press down into the knuckles of the index and the thumb. Wrap the eyes and the elbows more towards the top of the mat. Step one leg back at a time into a plank pose. And then on the exhale, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And take a moment here to just pedal out the dog. Start to awaken the back of the legs. Slowly lift one heel off the mat as you bend the knee. And then push the opposite heel down as you straighten out that knee. And slow, deliberate movements, switching it out. Walking the dog. And then find a little bit of stillness in the down dog. Work the hands into the mat. Press the fingertips down so the whites underneath the fingernails start to appear. Press into the mounds of the index and the thumb. Wrap the outer armpits down and away from your ears. Bend your knees a couple of inches and lift the sitting bones up towards the sky. And then push the heels down towards the floor. Work to straighten the knees. Stretch the back of the thighs back towards the wall behind you. And then on your exhale, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Uttanasana. If your hamstrings are a little tight this evening, you can bring the feet hip-width distance. Allow the palms to connect to the earth. So if you have to bend your knees considerably, do so. And then take the top of the head, the crown, just to the floor. Keep the palms connected to the earth, the ribs connected to the thighs, and start to lift the sitting bones up towards the sky. On your inhale, pull the sternum forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Try to create a flat back with the floor. And then exhale, fold back in, drop the crown, lift the sitting bones up. Inhale, begin to circle the arms up all the way overhead. Squeeze the palms, gaze up through the heels of the hands. And exhale, draw the hands into heart center. Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. Let's take Tadasana at the top of the mat. So if the feet were hip-width distance, bring the big toes to touch. Separate your heels a sliver apart. Bring the hips back over the heels. Scoop the tailbone under. Lift the pubic bone up. Extend the fingers towards the earth. And wrap the palms to face forward. Take the heads of the shoulders back and down. Stretch your crown up towards the sky. And then inhale, circle the arms up overhead, Urdhva Namaskarasana. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands and hop, step, walk back, high plank. Inhale, pull the heads of the shoulders past the fingertips, squeeze the elbows in, and on the exhale, start to lower yourself either halfway down or all the way down. And then untuck the toes and inhale, lift yourself up for cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take one deep inhale, one open mouth, audible exhale. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, bend the knees. And exhale, hop, step, float, get to the top, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold back in, Uttanasana. Inhale, circle to rise, squeeze the palms for Urdhva Namaskarasana. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Two more just like that. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, hop back into plank. Inhale, pull the heads of the shoulders forward, squeeze the elbows in. Exhale, lower halfway down or all the way down. Untuck the toes and inhale, lift the spine up, crown up for upward facing dog or cobra. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Again, one full inhale, one open mouth, audible exhale. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, bend the knees and coil, and exhale, hop, step, float, fold in at the top, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold back in, Uttanasana. Inhale, circle all the way up, squeeze the palms and gaze up. And exhale, hands to heart center. One more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale into plank. Inhale, pull yourself forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Tuck the toes. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And one breath again. Inhale deeply. Exhale, open mouth fully. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, bend the knees. And exhale, hop, step, float, get to the top, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, circle all the way up, squeeze the palms and gaze up. And exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Awesome. Hopefully you're a little bit warm there. And now we can get into our yoga. So let's go ahead and set up the blocks. Take the two blocks, put them at the back of your mat if you have them, one on opposite sides. And then take Tadasana in the middle of the mat, facing the long edge of the mat. Root down firmly into your left foot. Turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Bend your right knee. Reach down with your right hand. Grab your right ankle. And try to push that right foot into your left thigh. Notice if the thigh wants to pop out, and tuck that left thigh back into the midline. Take your right hand to the inside of your right knee, left hand to your left hip point, and gently push those 2 points back towards the wall behind you. Scoop the tailbone slightly, lift the pubic bone up. Try to focus on something that is not moving, and then draw the hands into heart center. Begin here with a steady balance. If you're having difficulty keeping the foot into the thigh, you can always take the foot to the shin, or even kickstand the foot. If you're still having trouble with the balance, maybe move to a wall. One thing you want to avoid is pushing that foot into the knee. Once you're comfortable with your balance, then work to grow your arms, the branches of your tree. Straighten the elbows out first. Keep the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then squeeze the palms in towards each other. Keep trying to draw that right knee out and back. Inhale, lift the spine up through the fingertips. And then exhale, take the hands into heart center. Draw your right knee back into the center. Release. Give it a little bit of a shake. Shimmy with the hips. And then reset yourself. Let's go to the other side. Root down firmly into the right foot. Turn the left toes out 90 degrees. Reach down with your left hand, grab that ankle, and again, either tuck it into the thigh, shin, or kickstand, or even find a wall if you need some more help there. Push the foot into the thigh back into the foot, and tuck that right hip in towards the midline. Take your left hand to the inside of your left knee, right hand to the right hip point, and gently push those 2 points back towards the wall behind you. Tuck the tail, lift your pubic bone. Draw the hands into heart center. Again, try to focus on something that is not moving. And once you're comfortable with your balance, roll the branches of your tree. Straighten your arms out first. Get the elbows straight. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then squeeze the palms in towards the midline. Keep the tailbone tucked. Keep trying to draw your left knee out and back. Inhale to lengthen the sternum and crown up through the middle fingers. And then exhale, take the hands into heart center. Draw the left knee back into the center. Release, shake it out. Awesome work, Vrikshasana tree pose. Moving on to Prasarta. Starting in Tadasana, bring the fingertips together, the elbows out wide, and hop or step out to a wide stance. Point your fingertips down towards your ankles. Make sure you're in your wide stance. If your legs aren't out as wide as the wrist, shimmy those legs a little bit wider. Take the hands to the hips for a moment here. Look at the outside edges of your feet. Make sure they're parallel with the short end of the sticky mat. So maybe a little pigeon toeing in as you push the outer heels out. From here, work to squeeze the legs in as you lift up on the inner arches and start to feel the adductors on the inner thighs engage. Find your hip points. Begin to lift those hip points up towards the sky. Scoop the tailbone under. Squeeze the elbows behind you. Inhale to lengthen. Create a back bend. And on the exhale, take your hip points, spill them to the floor. Take your hands, stack them directly underneath your shoulders. Bend the knees 2 inches. Drop your hip points towards your thighs. Lift your butt up towards the sky. Keep that lift to the sitting bones and work to straighten the knees out. Stretch the backs of the thighs towards the wall behind you. Spread your 10 fingers out wide and inhale, pull your sternum forward, create a flat spine. And on the exhale, hinge at the hips, fold in. Walk your fingertips back in line with your toes. Squeeze your elbows in so they're shoulder width distance apart. And then release the crown, the top of the head, down to or towards the floor. Don't let the knees bend. Squeeze the legs in towards each other. Lift the sitting bones up towards the sky. Keep your hands where they are, and on your inhale, pull the sternum forward through the top of the mat. And then on the exhale, hinge forward, fold in just a little bit deeper if you can. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands to your hips, squeeze the elbows to the sky, and on the next inhale, come all the way up with a flat back. Take your fingertips together, your elbows out wide, and hop or step back into Tadasana. Awesome. Moving into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Fingertips together, elbows out wide. Hop or step out into that same wide stance. Turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Turn your left toes in 10 degrees. Take your hands to your hips for a moment here and draw that left hip back. Notice how the right knee wants to turn in slightly. Take the hand to the inside of the right thigh and externally rotate that right thigh so it comes to the sky. Once you're there, extend the arms back out to a T. Keep the shoulders soft and away from the ears. Inhale to lengthen up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, reach over the right leg. One more time. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to reach. And then take your right hand down and either C-cup your right shin or take your hand to the block outside of the shin. Inhale to lift the left arm up towards the sky. Wrap the right shoulder back and away from the ears. Inhale, pull the sternum forward. And on the exhale, open up the chest, gaze up towards those left fingers. One more time. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Stretch the left thigh back. Wrap the left sitting bone down and forward. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to open it up. And then remove the block out of the way. Inhale, come all the way up into standing. Turn your right toes in. 10 degrees. Turn your left toes out, 90 degrees. Take the hands back to the hips. Make sure the legs are straight and strong. Take that left hip back, or right hip back towards the wall behind you. Take your left hand to the inside of your left thigh and externally rotate the thigh so it comes to the sky. And then take the arms out to a T. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lengthen the spine up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach the left fingers past the left toes. Inhale to lengthen one more time. Exhale to reach and then circle the left hand down to either C-cup the shin or slide that block in just outside the shin. Extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. Press into the mat with the knife edge of the right foot. Pull the left shoulder back away from your ear. Inhale, pull the top of your crown through the top of the mat. And exhale, open up the chest, gaze up towards those right fingertips. One more time. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to open it up as you gaze up. And then slide the block out of the way. Inhale, come all the way up into standing. Turn the toes to face forward. Bring the fingertips together, elbows out wide. Hop or step back into Tadasana. Awesome work. Moving into extended side angle. Bring the fingertips together, the elbows out wide. Hop or step out to that same wide stance. Turn the right toes out 90 degrees. Turn the left toes in 10 degrees. On the inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, bend in the right knee. Try to come into a square shape. Now take a look at your right knee. Make sure that it is tracking to the right side of the mat. You got to be able to see your big toe, if not the second or third toe. Sink a little bit deeper in that front knee. Keep the shoulders directly over the hips. Inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, reach over towards the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach. Take your hand down to the block outside of the right foot. Take your left hand to your left hip for a moment here. Wrap that right shoulder back and squeeze the outer right leg to the inner right arm. Lift your left hip point forward and wrap the left shoulder up and back. Once you're here, inhale to lift the left arm up, flip the palm, and on the exhale, stack your bicep over your ear. Inhale to pull the sternum forward. Exhale to open up the chest, gaze underneath your left armpit. One more inhale to lengthen. Exhale, open it up. Slide the block out of the way, root down into your left foot, and inhale, come all the way up into standing. Switching it out, turn those right toes in 10 degrees, left toes out 90 degrees. Start with the legs straight and strong, and then inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend in the left knee. Take it to a square shape. Take your hand to the inside of your left thigh for a moment, and take that thigh over to the left side of the mat. And then try to sink a little bit deeper in that front knee. Keep the shoulders over the hips to begin with, arms out to a T. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to reach over the left toes. Inhale again, lengthen. Exhale, reach. Circle your left hand down to the block outside of the left leg. Take your right hand to your right hip point. Squeeze your left leg into your left arm. Wrap your left shoulder back away from your ear. Right hand on the right hip. Lift that hip point up. Wrap the right shoulder up and back. Then lift your right arm up. Flip your palm. Stack your bicep over your ear. Try to create a diagonal shape from the knife edge of your right foot through your right fingertips. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, open up the chest. Gaze underneath the right armpit. One more time. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, open it up. Slide the block out of the way. Root down into your back foot or step back to Tadasana. Awesome work. Virabhadrasana 1. Fingertips together, elbows out wide. Hop or step out to that same stance. Take the hands to the hips. Bend the knees slightly. Stick the butt back a little bit and turn and pivot both toes over to the right side of the mat. Take a look at your feet. We want to have heel-to-heel alignment. If the balance is difficult there, you can step the left leg out and have more of a railroad track with the feet. The right toe should be pointing straight to the top of the mat. The left toe should be pointing to the left front corner of your sticky mat. Get into that wide stance. Wrap the right hip back and pull your left hip forward. Try to square your shoulders and your hips to the short end of the sticky mat. From here, inhale to lift the arms up overhead, and on the exhale, bend in the right knee. Virabhadrasana 1. Push down into the heel of the left foot. Bend the right knee to more of a square shape. Inhale to lengthen the spine up. Squeeze the palms, and exhale, reach the thumbs back. Follow the thumbs with your gaze. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Sink a little bit deeper in your right knee. Exhale, reach up and back. And then release the hands to the hips. Straighten out on your right leg. And then turn and pivot both toes or both feet over to the left side of the mat. Look at the feet. If they moved, readjust to that heel-to-heel alignment that you had. Left toes should be pointing straight ahead. Right toes to the right front corner of the sticky mat. Push the legs straight first and pull that left hip back, right hip forward. Try to square the hips to the short end of the sticky mat. From here, inhale, circle the arms up overhead, and exhale, bend in the left knee. Take it to a square shape. Push the back of your right heel down towards the floor and sink your left knee into 90 degrees. Pull that right hip forward, left hip back. Squeeze the palms together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach the thumbs up and back as you bend in the knee a little deeper. One more time, inhale, lengthen, exhale, reach up and back. And then release the hands to the hips, straighten out on your left leg, turn and pivot the toes towards the top of the mat, fingertips together, elbows out wide, hop or step back. Awesome work. Moving into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Fingertips together, elbows out wide, hop or step out, that same wide stance we've been in. Keep the arms where they are this time. Turn those right toes out 90 degrees. Left toes in 10 degrees. We've been here before. Take that left hip back towards the wall behind you. Wrap your right sitting bone down and forward. Inhale to lengthen the spine up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, bend in the right knee. Take it to a square shape. Now notice here, if your shoulders want to lean over the right thigh, bring the left fingertips back over the left ankle so that the shoulders are directly over the hips. Flip the palms to face up, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Keep the shoulders soft, flip the palms back. Tuck your chin slightly, turn and gaze towards the right fingers. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to bend a little bit deeper in your right knee. One more time, inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, see if you can bend a little deeper. And then straighten out on your right knee. Keep the arms out to a T. Turn the right toes in 10 degrees. Left toes out 90 degrees. Last lateral standing pose. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend in the knee. Reach those right fingers back so they're over the right ankle. Sink that left knee to a square shape. Keep the shoulders soft. Tuck your chin back. Turn and gaze over the left fingers. Push into the knife edge of the right foot. Press on the gas of the ball of the left foot. And squeeze your legs in towards each other. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to bend a little bit deeper. And then straighten out on your front knee. Turn the toes forward. Fingertips together, elbows out wide. Hop or step back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Awesome. 3 more standing poses. Slightly shorter stance this time. Fingertips together, elbows out wide. Hop or step out to a 3.5 foot stance. For pyramid pose. Take your hands to your hips. Bend your knees slightly, stick your butt back. Turn and pivot both toes over to both feet over to the right side of the mat. Same setup we had for Warrior 1. Heel to heel alignment. Right toes straight ahead, left toes to the left front corner of the sticky mat. Scissor the thighs, pull that right hip back, left hip forward. From here, take the arms out to a T. Internally rotate the arms, thumbs point down. And then exhale, sweep the arms back behind you. Come into a reverse prayer. If that's difficult, bring the knuckles to touch or grab opposite elbows. Push down into the left heel. Inhale, lengthen. Create a back bend all the way from the left heel up through the shoulders and the crown. Scissor the thighs, right hip back, left hip forward. Exhale, hinge forward, halfway and pause. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Pull that left hip forward, right hip back a little bit more. Exhale, fold deeply over your right shin. 2 more times. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold and twist. Try to take your right ribs or left ribs to the outside of your right leg. Notice if your left heel's lifting off the mat, push that left heel down. 1 more inhale to lengthen. 1 more exhale to fold in. And then inhale, halfway lift. Keep it halfway lifted. Turn and pivot both feet over to the left side of the mat. Inhale, come all the way up. Readjust the feet if you don't have that heel-to-heel alignment. Scissor the thighs. This time left hip comes back, right hip comes forward. If you have to readjust the arms, readjust the arms. Keep the legs straight and strong. Push the right heel down. Inhale, create a back bend all the way up through the crown. Exhale, hinge forward 40 or 90 degrees and pause. Pull that right hip forward a little bit more, left hip back. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold in over the left shin. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold and twist. Try to take your left ribs out, or right ribs outside your left leg. 1 more inhale, lengthen. 1 more exhale, fold and twist. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep halfway, turn and pivot back to the long end of the sticky mat and come all the way up. Release the hands, fingertips together, elbows out wide. Hop or step back. Moving into revolve triangle. Change short stance here. Fingertips together, elbows out wide. Hop or step out, short stance. Hands to the hips, bend the knees, stick the butt back. Turn and pivot both sets of feet over to the right. Pull that right hip back, left hip forward. Take your right thumb into your right hip crease. Pull that hip crease back. Inhale, lift the left arm up towards the sky. Create a back bend right now from the left heel all the way up through the left fingertips. Exhale, hinge forward 90 degrees, halfway. Pull that right hip back, left hip forward. Push the left heel down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cross the left hand over the right leg onto the block. Inhale to pull the sternum towards the top of the mat. Wrap the left shoulder back. Push the left heel down. And on the inhale, circle that right arm up as you gaze up towards the right fingers. Don't let the knees bend. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, open it up. Gaze up. 1 more inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open it up. Slide the block out of the way and inhale, windmill the arms and feet over to the opposite side of the mat. Reset the legs. Heel to heel alignment, left toes straight ahead, right toes to the right front corner of the sticky mat. Left thumb goes into the left hip crease this time. Pull that hip crease back as you pull the right hip forward. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Create that back bend from the heel through the middle finger. Exhale, hinge forward 90 degrees. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Scissor the thighs, left hip back. Exhale, release the right hand outside of the left foot. Wrap that right shoulder back. Inhale, pull the sternum forward. Push the right heel down. Exhale, open up your left arm towards the sky. 2 more breaths. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to open it up. 1 more inhale, lengthen. 1 more exhale, open it up. And then slide the block out of the way. Inhale, windmill the arms and feet to the top of the mat. Bring the fingertips together, the elbows out wide. Hop or step back. Awesome work. Standing poses are almost done. 1 more as we transition into seating. Come to the top of the mat if you're not already there. Find your Tadasana. You can separate the feet as wide as the hips if you need to. We've already done Uttanasana, but we'll do it again. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up. And then exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Bend your knees as much as you need to so the ribs and thighs are connected, the palms are connected to the earth. Take the top of the head, the crown to the floor, so bring your gaze more up towards your upper thighs. Once you're there, start to push the hands down.
Take the shoulders away from the ears and start to stretch the sitting bones up. Once you're there, energetically draw the inner heels towards the outer heels. Try to draw your shins apart, your thighs apart. Feel your sitting bones stretch apart, and then reach those sitting bones up a little bit higher. And then inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Bend your knees, come all the way down. Setting up for Navasana boat pose. Root down into your sitting bones and remove the flesh out from underneath there. Take your hands underneath your knees. Start to squeeze the legs in towards each other, and then start to walk the feet back towards the hips. Push the sitting bones down. Inhale to lift the spine up. Take the heads of the shoulders back and down. This might be a lot for you. If this is your level, stay where you're at. Going a little bit deeper, try to slide the heels in and lift them up slightly. Again, this might be your level. If you can go a little bit more, maybe lift one foot up, maybe both feet up. Try to stay balancing on the sitting bones. Maybe lift the shins parallel to the floor. Keep that spine lifted, the shoulders back and down. Maybe release the hands from under the knees, palms face up. Maybe work to stretch the legs straight. And then when you're ready, bend the knees. Take the feet back to the floor. Open the knees up. Pull yourself forward. Give your hips a little bit of a shimmy and a shake. Whew. And we'll do it again. Take the hands underneath the knees. Squeeze the legs together. Root down into the sitting bones. Lift the spine. Broaden the collarbone. Start to slide the feet in. Lift the heels. Maybe lift the opposite foot first. Then the opposite foot. Squeeze the legs together. Maybe bring the shins parallel to the floor. Keep the spine lifted, the shoulders soft. Release the hands. Maybe sail your feet up to the sky. Balance on those sitting bones. When you're ready, bend the knees. Release the feet. Take the knees out wide. Pull yourself forward. Whew. Awesome work. Cross the legs in front of you. Plant your hands to the top of the mat. Step one leg back at a time into plank. And then lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Push your left heel down to the mat. Lift your right heel up to the sky. On your exhale, bend your right knee. Take it towards your nose. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. Take your right knee over towards your right wrist. Take your right ankle, wrap it around your left wrist. And then lower your left leg down to the floor. Stretch the toes back towards the wall behind you. Look over your left shoulder. Make sure your toes are pointing straight back. They're not sickling in. They're not sickling out. We want all tops of the 5 toes of the left foot pressing down into the mat, even that pinky toe. And then gaze to the top of the mat. Pull your left hip forward slightly, right hip back. Walk your hands to surround your hips. Lift your spine up. Create a back bend. On the exhale, hinge at the hips. Come down to your forearms. Inhale, lift the spine towards the top of the mat. Exhale, walk the hands forward or bend the elbows and make a little pillow for the hands. Now, if you notice that you're falling over onto your right hip, you can always take that blanket and tuck it just underneath the right hip. Use some support here. If you need more than one blanket or you have to step it up a little bit more, step it up. You can even put a block there. Push the top of your left foot down into the mat firmly so that the left knee starts to lift up slightly. Pull the left hip forward. Lift your navel off of your right leg and then pull the top of the sternum forward to the top of the mat. And then release the forehead if it's not there already. Come back to your breath in Eka Pada Rajagatasana or pigeon prep. And then when you're ready, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee. Lift your right leg up and back for a 3-legged dog. Circle that hip a couple times. Bring the blood back in. And then reset into your down dog. We got side 2 to do. Push the right heel down. Lift the left heel up. And on your exhale, hinge forward, knee to nose, shoulders over wrist. Begin to take that left knee towards the left wrist. Wrap the left ankle around the right wrist. Lower the right knee down. Again, if you find yourself dropping over to the left side of the mat, Take a blanket, put it under your left hip or even a block. Gaze over the right shoulder, stretch those right toes straight back towards the wall behind you. No sickling in. Walk the hands back to surround the hips, lift the spine up, create a back bend. And then on the exhale, hinge forward at the hips, come to the forearms. Pull the right hip forward, slightly left hip back. Inhale, lengthen the sternum forward. Exhale, walk the hands forward or rest the head down onto the hands. Push the top of the right foot down into the mat. Lift the right knee up slightly. Pull that right hip forward even more. Lift your belly button up off of your left thigh and shin. Pull the top of the sternum forward to the top of the mat. Relax the forehead down. And rest in your pigeon. Awesome work. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck the right toe, lift the right knee, and then lift the left leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Circle that hip. And then reset. We'll work the down dog for just a moment here. Take a look up at the hands first. Spread the 10 fingers out as wide as you can. Push into the L shape of the hands, the thumb and index now. Wrap the eyes of the elbows forward and the outer armpits down. Gaze back towards your feet. Make sure they're separated hip width distance. Bend the knees. Drop the hips, lift the sitting bones. And then work to straighten out the knees. Stretch the thighs back. Press the heels down. Keep the sitting bones lifted and the outer armpits wrapping down. And then when you're ready on the exhale, bend the knees. Coming into Virasana, hero's pose. If you need to have a block or a blanket here, go ahead and grab that block or blanket and put it just behind, in between the ankles. Make sure that the ankles are out wider than the hips, but bring the knees and thighs to touch. Press the 10 toes back and down. And then start to lower yourself down onto the block or blanket. If your calf muscles are getting in the way as you start to come down, rotate the calf muscles out and down. And then have a seat. If you are sitting on a block or a blanket, make sure that it's not touching the thighs, but rather rooting right down into the sitting bones. If you don't need the block or blanket, maybe come all the way down to the earth. Squeeze the ankles in towards the outer thighs. Squeeze the knees in towards each other. Take your hands underneath your knees and just pull that flesh up and out. Take the hands behind the sitting bones, pull that flesh up and out. Take your hands to the tops of your thighs with the palms facing up. Press the backs of the hands into the thighs, lift the spine up, take the shoulders back and down. Connect the index and thumb mound, or rather index and thumb pads together, and close your eyes. Stretch the top of your head, the crown towards the ceiling, and slightly tuck the chin back. Exhale all the air out from your lungs. Seal your lips. Draw your breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the lips sealed. Slowly exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow yourself down. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowing the breath even more. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale slowly. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently blink the eyes open. Take your hands to surround your legs. Lift up. And then sweep the legs around for Dandasana staff pose. Get those legs out straight and strong. If you find that you're starting to round in the lumbar region of the back, you can grab a blanket and have a seat on the blanket. Get as close to the folded edge of the blanket as you can so you can support the sitting bones. That gives a little bit more of a tilt to the spine there. Once the legs are straight, push the heels forward and down. Flex and draw the toes back towards your nose. Take your hands next to your hips. We don't want the hands behind the hips. We're trying to create more of a 90-degree bend at the hips. So hands directly outside the hips, palms facing down, fingertips pointing forward. Press down into the mat, lift up with the spine. Take the heads of the shoulders back and down. Stretch your crown up, but tuck your chin slightly. Dandasana, staff pose. Press the feet forward and down, press the palms down, stretch the crown up. Feel every muscle in your body quiver and engage. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release from that pose. If you're on a blanket, you can stay on the blanket. If you're not on the blanket, that's okay. And if you think you can remove the blanket, go ahead and remove it. Let the legs turn out. Grab the tendons on the inside of the knees. Take the knees out wide. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. If you're on the blanket, take the hands to the feet, lift the feet up, and bring the heels closer to the perineum. If you're not on the blanket, take your hands behind your hips, lift your hips up, and bring the perineum closer to the heels. Start to lower your sitting bones back down onto the mat. Walk the hands in to surround the hips. Press down, lift the spine up. Keep that spine lifted. Take the hands to surround the feet. Inhale to lift the spine up. And on the exhale, hinge 45 degrees at the hips. Or come to your edge. Try not to round the spine yet, but work at just hinging at the hips. Pull the sternum forward, shoulders back and down. Use the elbows to push the legs out and down. And then exhale, hinge at the hips a little bit more. Once you've come to your edge, now you can round the forehead, bend the neck, and fold in Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold in a little bit deeper. One more time, inhale, lengthen. One more time, exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Re-extend the legs out in front of you again in Dandasana, staff pose. Moving into Janu Shirsasana. Keep your left leg straight and strong. Let the right leg go out. Grab the tendon on the inside of the right knee. Draw that right knee out as if you were coming into a half cobbler's pose. Take the right heel as close to the right thigh as you can get it. We want to have more than a 90-degree opening, more than we had done in that tree pose at the beginning of class. Take the right knee out and back. Push the left heel forward slightly. You'll notice that the hips are now in line with the shoulders, but they're pointed more towards normal. What we want to do is actually take the shoulders and twist them away from the hips slightly. So press the hands down to surround the left leg. Inhale, lift the spine up. Exhale, turn and twist at the waist. Take the right shoulder and left shoulder so that the sternum is over the left shin. Keep the left hand down. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, reach forward to the inside of the left foot. Use your left hand again to inhale, lengthen the spine, and turn and twist right to left, and then release your left hand outside of your left foot. Inhale to lift the spine up. Exhale to bend the elbows and release the sternum towards the shin. It's a little bit of a fold and a twist here too. So if you notice the right shoulder and right elbow are lifting, on your inhale, work to lengthen the spine. Drop the right elbow and right shoulder so they're in line with the left, and then fold in. Try to take this time the right ribs to the outside of the left shin. One more time to inhale, lengthen. Awesome work. Exhale, fold and twist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come all the way up. Re-extend the right leg. We got side two to do. Keep the right leg where it is. Left leg goes soft. Grab that tendon. Open it up wider than 90 degrees. Take the left heel to the left hip. Open that knee up wide. Take both hands to surround the right leg. Inhale, lift the spine up. Use the leverage of the hands to turn and twist from left to right. Keep the right hand down. Lift the left arm up. Exhale, reach to the inside of the right leg. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to turn and twist and fold in as you release the right hand to the outside of the right foot. Again, notice if the left elbow and shoulder are lifting higher than the right. And on your inhale, lengthen the spine. Drop the left elbow and shoulder in line with the right. Exhale, release the sternum to the floor. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold and twist. Try to take the left ribs outside the right leg. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold and twist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Re-extend the left leg to meet the right. And then grab your blanket if you need to use the blanket for Upavishta Konasana, wide-legged forward fold. Take the blanket off of the mat with the folded edge facing the long end of the sticky mat and have a seat on that blanket. Take your legs out wide. Use the mat to put the shoulders back and down. Keep that spine lifted. Take the hands in front of the hips. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, walk the hands forward, fold in. Try to take the sternum down towards the floor. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold in. Try to push the backs of the legs down. And as you exhale, release the sternum and crown down towards the floor. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Last one. Inhale, get as deep as you can on your exhale as you fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Close the legs up like a book. Come back into Dandasana for Paschimottanasana. Remove the flesh from underneath the sitting bones. Start in Dandasana. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, hinge at the hips, peace fingers to big toes. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold in. 2 more breaths. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Time for belly down, back bend. So go ahead and swing the legs around behind you. Come onto your belly. Zip the legs together. Big toes up through the inner thighs. Take your chin to the mat. Take your hands next to the hips, palms facing in, thumbs pointing down. Push your pubic bone down. Exhale all the air out from the lungs. And inhale, lift up like a locust. Squeeze the legs together. Lift the feet, knees, thighs. Reach the fingertips back. Try to grab the wall behind you. Lift the sternum and the crown up. Create that back bend. 1 more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Take the left cheek to the floor, gaze to the right. 2 breaths. Chin back to the mat. Moving into Dandasana, bow pose. Take your knees and bend them. Reach back. Try to grab the outside edges of the feet. Squeeze the knees in. Push the pubic bone down. Exhale all the air out from the lungs. And inhale. Kick the feet into the hands. Pull the feet back into the hands. Keep trying to squeeze the knees in. Lift the sternum up. Try to lift the toes up. Lift the crown up. And then exhale, lower everything down. Right cheek to the floor, gaze to the left. 2 breaths. Go ahead and flip over onto your back for a belly up back bend. Setu Bandha, Sarvangasana, bridge pose. Bend the knees so you can touch the heels with the fingertips. Make sure the feet are hip width distance apart. Push down into the 4 corners of the feet. Lift the sacrum away from the floor. Start to walk the shoulder blades towards each other underneath your back. Interweave the fingers. Push the knife edge of the hands down. Stretch the knuckles through your heels. Come up onto your tippy toes. Lift your hip points. Tuck your tail slightly. Keep that lift. But lower those heels without lowering the hips. Push the feet into the mat. Reach the knuckles through the heels. And work to take the sternum closer towards your chin without moving your chin. Keep trying to squeeze the knees into hip width distance. Don't let them flare out. Inhale. 1 more lift. Exhale, release, lower all the way down. Awesome work. And then take the arms out to a cactus or a T. Stretch the legs out straight. And then bend the knees, stack the hips directly over the knees. Keep the shins parallel to the floor. Shimmy the hips over to the left 2 inches and drop the knees over to the right. Keep the left shoulder down, turn and gaze towards the left shoulder. Actively try to stack your left hip over your right, left knee over the right. And then keep the legs zipped together, lift the legs back up, shimmy the hips back into the middle, and then over to the right 2 inches. Keep the legs zipped together, lower the knees over to the left, keep the right shoulder down, turn and gaze towards the right shoulder. Again, actively work to stack the right hip over the left, right knee over the left, but keep the right shoulder down. Then bring your gaze up, lift your legs up, shimmy the hips back into the middle, and then give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze. Start to rock and roll yourself up to a seated position. Extend the legs out in front of you. Another gentle twist here. Keep the right leg where it is. Bend the left leg in. Cross the left leg over the right. Hinge over to the right. Sweep the right heel towards the left sitting bones. Square the sitting bones. If you can't get the sitting bones to sit flush, keep that right leg out straight. Take your left hand behind your hips. Lift your right arm up towards the sky. On the exhale, turn and twist from right to left with your right elbow outside your left knee. On your inhale, lengthen up on the right side of the ribs. On the exhale, turn and twist, gaze over your left shoulder. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn and twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, unwind. Re-extend the legs out in front of you. Other side. Keep the right leg where it is. Bend the left leg in. Actually, switching it out. Keep the left leg where it is. Bend the right leg in. Cross that over. Hinge over to the left. Sweep the left heel towards the right sitting bones. Square the sitting bones. Again, if you can't get those sitting bones squared, keep that left leg straight. Right hand behind the back. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, turn and twist with your left elbow outside of the right knee. Inhale, lift up on the left ribs. Exhale, turn and twist, gaze over your right shoulder. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn and twist. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Last one. Exhale, turn and twist. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, unwind. Re-extend those legs in Dandasana, staff pose. Remove the flesh from underneath the sitting bones. Last pose of the night. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, Paschimottanasana. Peace fingers to big toes. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to hinge at the hips. Release the sternum toward the shin. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Come all the way down onto your back. If you have a blanket, take that blanket, put it on top of the hips. Give a little bit of compression there for the thighs and the hips. Bring the big toes to touch, separate the heels wide, and then allow the legs to externally rotate. Take the hands about 8 to 10 inches away from the hips, palms facing up. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another and away from the ears. Stretch the top of your head, your crown, towards the top of your mat. Slightly tuck your chin and close your eyes. Take a deep, full inhale breath. And an open mouth, audible exhale to let it all back out. Return to your normal breathing. Relax the muscles in your body. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Unclench your jaw. Relax the muscles around the eyes. Allow the earlobes to melt towards the earth. Allow your mind and thoughts to run free. And at this point, yogis, I'm going to let you take the shavasana that you need to for your body. I'll be signing off with our social media accounts. I do want to thank you for joining us again, day 8. You all did an excellent job, passed the final exam. If you're joining me in closing, take the hands to heart center. And then draw the thumb up to the third eye space.
Allow the highest in me to honor the highest in you. Namaste.